Right here.
What is it? Can you tell me what you have on your ear?
I have a bandage on my right ear.
What does it signify?
We stand in solidarity with President Trump. We support him 100%. We're from the Arizona delegation, and a few of us are wearing it.
People in America are extremely confused about what idolatry is. They are blind to how their feelings are completely out of order. Look at the nation right now. It's the month of July, and the ex-president has suffered an attempt on his life, so it appears, and people in this country are actually crying. Grown men and women are walking around with sympathy bandages on their ear, right? So nobody's shot at their ears wherever they are. But people in America are expressing their solidarity with what has happened to ex-President Trump by putting bandages on their ear, and people are writing the greatest heresies and the widest blasphemies across the internet, saying that this man now has been proven to have shed blood for the nation. And this is not hyperbole. This is not an exaggeration. People are actually writing this in public where other more moderate and normal human beings can see it. Inordinate affection. It means that the desires of your heart are not balanced. They've moved out of their normal place. Their normal place, if you claim that you are supporting something, if you claim that you are backing something, and it's now edged into total heresy. It's edged into total blasphemy. And the Lord has been talking about issues such as this ever since I started this blog. You will always find the word idolatry written through all the prophecies on the Master's Voice, because idolatry is first and foremost a condition of the heart. It is not because there's a big Buddha statue or a big Shiva statue or whatever it is that people are going to worship. You don't have to have a visible replica in the land for there to be idolatry. In modern nations, the idols are mobile. In modern nations, the idols are on the sports centers. They're in the sports arenas. They're running track. They're driving NASCAR. They're playing basketball. They're gymnasts. That's where the idols are. Far more dangerous idols are idols that are not nailed down like you find in India or in Islamic, not even Islamic, in nations that are practicing alternate religions like Buddhism. Dangerous idols are idols that when they come places, you act out of turn, you act out of character, your entire personality changes. I woke up briefly, and I will read to you from my tablet because this is not yet on the blog. I woke out of this short dream only briefly, and I said, Lord, what is it? Now, this is a phrase that I just ask God when I see things, snippets of things, sometimes a long dream that has many moving parts. Some I get, some I don't get, and God is always faithful right there to answer. And the Lord said that Donald Trump is a federal operative. Now, you have to understand this word operative, in its basic form, it just means one who works for someone else. But here in America, we understand that if you sit and you're pushing paper all day, or if you work at the DMV, or if you work at a daycare, or even if you work as the CEO of a bank, no one is going to call you an operative. We usually reserve that word for people who are highly enmeshed and embedded in politics, policy, and international matters of politics and international policy, as in dealing with Russia and dealing with China and that kind of thing. The people who move around in that world, especially those, please listen, especially those who walk around in secrecy, especially those whose work requires secrecy. These are the people that we call operatives. The Lord says that this man is working with the federal government to deceive the people of America. He is a federal operative. He works for the government. He is controlled opposition. He is a dummy alternative for the people to keep them occupied while the real preparations and arrangements are being made for the beast government to take effect. Now, I will just stop at this moment to I will stop because there's still more about him written down here that the Lord gave me before I started. But I will just stop here to go back to the prayer call recently where the Lord was very angry and the Lord made some very revealing statements. And these statements, I knew them as far back as 2016. So the Lord made some very revealing statements. And one of the statements he said is that President Trump is not going back to the White House. He said that President Trump had no business in the White House the first time. And then he said that the only reason that he let President Trump get near the White House is because the alternative would have been President Hillary Clinton was by far worse an outcome for America. That this woman does diabolical deeds against adults and children, and had America allowed someone with what God called a murdering temperament, a murderous intent, to sit in that seat of power, it would have been hell and havoc for the people of this nation. Now, this is something that I knew all the way back then, and the Lord has given me license to speak of what I knew all the way back then. When these things were going on, and you're just sitting and you're watching to see the outcome of what is going to happen. I remember straining as a horse strains against the bridle towards the Lord, saying, Father, have mercy on us in this country. Have mercy on us in this country. Whatever form of mercy you choose to have mercy on us in this country. And it was with much shock that I saw what the outcome would be. And the Lord did say that he had mercy. So now we skip ahead before. And again, I went to the Lord with this prayer in 2020. God, have mercy on us in this country. And this time the Lord rebuked me. And I'm not ashamed to talk about such things because it is a non-humble person who will not be able to disclose when God has shut the door. I have warned on this channel that many of you want to be more merciful than God. So God will say, this arm is diseased. I will hack it off. And then here come the lymphocytes of the so-called church. God, can't we give this arm penicillin? Can't we work on it somehow? God, let's give it a second chance. I know that this arm has been harming men, women, and children in the nation. I know that this arm has been harming men, women, and children in the church. But oh God, aren't you a God of love, the reckless love God? Let's work on this arm. This habit infuriates God very much. So the reason I went to God with a second plea for mercy is not because I care about U.S. politics. I went because I know that the day American politics stops working, foreigners, I hope you're listening very well, in every country where you tune in, the day American politics stops working, we are going kit and caboodle into the beast system. See, that's what I care about because God has called me to end times work. He hasn't called me to be interested in your MAGA or your Build Back Better or your filibusters and whatever else. God has called me to care about the fact that one day this earth will be empty of many things, but one of the things it will be missing the most is human beings. That's what I'm interested in. Because the beast system is a coming machine that will methodically exterminate human life. And other countries are going to watch as blood flows here until they're going to have to look aside. So that's what I care about. Every time I observe a hiccup taking place in the halls of power, I don't think, oh, my favorite pony is about to lose a race. What I think is, we are one step closer to extermination, mass extermination and death. Father, please have mercy. And in 2020, the Lord told me, do not be like them. Do not distress me by continuing to ask mercy for this people. I will show them no more mercy. I will have no more grace. God said, and the prophecy is there, it's called No More Grace on the Master's Voice blog. He said he would have no more grace. He said that America was going to get exactly what she deserves. And what is that? America, we are going to see a progressive slide from Mr. Biden to Ms. Harris to whatever else will come. And at the end of the road, there will be only one choice. So it's like having a multiple choice question, but all the questions, all the choices are going to go away, and we're going to be left with only one choice. And that will be the man who promised this nation change, did not deliver. He didn't tell us that he was planning to come and complete the change in a final time. And what changes will there be? So in 2016, the Lord revealed in the prayer call, not celestial, but the Lord revealed what he had told me in private, that yes, people have pleaded for mercy, and I showed them the mercy. But what America saw is they saw the coming of King Cyrus from the Bible. They saw the coming of